Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Wangare and this is another episode of self-discovery and unlocking the mysteries of your mind and your soul. Karibuni sana and happy new year, happy 2025. I'm so glad to be here. I just decided to start this year on a high note, sort of. So as you can tell by the title, we are going to go over some of the lessons that I've learned in 2024 and some of the changes that I will be making in 2025 to make sure that I become the best version of myself. I decided to share this on this platform so that if there's anyone who can resonate, even better. So let's get straight into it. The first lesson that I learned is that you need to let people take accountability for their own actions. You can't always be the one who's the savior every time. The problem comes in when someone is used to you being there for them, so they don't care about the choices that they make. So they'll just make choices knowing very well that the consequences are going to be detrimental, but because they know that they have a fallback plan, then they end up not thinking clearly when they're making these decisions. And this could apply to anyone. It could be relationships, it could be your partner, your family members, or even your friends. They know that they can always come back to you, so they don't care about the decisions they're making. So you need to learn how to say no. I found myself like overthinking so much, trying to figure out why did they do this, and they knew very well that I was going to be involved in the mess that came after. I would just try to correct them and try to help them in their mess, but at the end of the day it becomes draining. And if you are spending so much energy fixing people's problems, then when are you ever going to fix your own problems? You know what I mean? And especially when it's like a recurring thing, when someone is now taking advantage of your kindness, someone is taking advantage of the fact that you're an empath and you're not just going to let them be, so they just make decisions however way they want, wrong decisions, then they come back running to you. So you need to identify when you're in that situation and acknowledge that I can't always be here for you. You are the one who made this decision, so why am I having to deal with the consequences of your actions? You could help people. People make mistakes, and even myself, I make mistakes, but I always take accountability for the things that I do. And unless I'm at a really, really, really bad place is when I'll now ask for help from people, but I'll try and solve it on my own first, but you don't take advantage of people. I really, 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 really learned a very big lesson, and I am hoping to, be firm, be more firm like this coming year. The second thing is that no one is coming to save you. Sometimes, you might be so positive and so hopeful, and you just think that, someone is just going to come out of the blue and they're going to remove me from my misery, right? Or you have some few leads here and there of ways in which you could actually be successful, but you're not actively pursuing these paths. You're just waiting for things to fall into place. You need to have an honest discussion with yourself and realize that you are the master of your life, and if you don't do anything, nothing will happen. You need to put the work in. I learned that I can't just be here doing the bare minimum or not going above and beyond, just waiting for things to fall into place. Things will not just fall into place. You have to put things into place. So you have to actively decide that these are the things that I am going to do to pursue whichever path I want to pursue. Then now you're hoping for a good outcome, then now you can manifest. If you're manifesting and you're working towards that goal which you have, then that's fine. And I realized that I need to be clear about what it is that I want. I am hoping that, it's going to stick in my brain, because it needs to stick, that nobody is coming to save me, and I need to have honest discussions with myself and know what I want and what I am doing to achieve those things. Otherwise, I'm just cruising through life, And then the other thing that I learned is that time is not your bestie. Look, I don't know if it's because I'm experiencing an existential crisis, but I feel like time is really, 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 really unfair, because time keeps moving. I'm growing older. when I think of the age that I'm turning this year, I'm just like, what already? So for a long time, I felt like I've never been in control of time. I've always been rushing after time, or I've always been complaining about time. I've always been saying that time is unfair. But I just, I just got a wake-up call, and time is not my bestie. Time is not going to go back on reverse. It's not going to stay on neutral. It's not going to stay on parking. It's going to continue on drive. It's going to be on drive forever. I need to learn how to take control of time and stop being a slave to time, because when you come to think of it, if you have like specific goals you are working on, and you know what you want in life, and you are working towards those things, and you have deliberately and intentionally set out to do the things you have said you will do, you will not feel like time is running after you, or you will not feel like time is unfair. But when you are just cruising through life without goals, without specific tasks that you need to do on a daily, without like checking in with yourself every so often to see where you've reached in life with your goals or with what you want, then you'll always feel like time is running after you. And that's how I've been operating for the longest time. I'm always scared and anxious about time. But I learned that I need to relax and accept the fact that I will always be on this hamster wheel of deliberating with time forever if I do not stop and actually take in the idea that time will always go, time is always on the move, and I'm going to be 50 in a few years, God willing. And then when you're 50, you're like, okay, where did the time go? So I just decided to stop hating time, to stop complaining about time, and just deciding to take control of time. And the way you take control of time is by being intentional about the time that you spend. So yeah, that's a very tough one that I swallowed. And then the other thing that I learned is that you're not special. You are not special. So bad things will happen to you. And these bad things could be as a result of decisions you have made, or they may just be as a result of the universe, the world, or God deciding that these things will happen to you. So there are things you will not control, and there are things you can control. Whatever the case, you cannot dwell in the mentality of a victim. You cannot just be like, why is this happening to me? Why did it have to happen to me? Why me? Why me? You see this why me thing? Why me? That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Because why not you? You're not special. You're just like any other person out there in the world. Nobody chooses to be sick. Nobody chooses to die. It just happens. Okay? It just happens. So when bad things are happening to you, you don't need to wallow in why me, because why not you? If it was not happening to you, then it would be happening to someone else. So does that mean that the other person is not special enough? So that's why the bad thing has happened to them. And then also, when good things are happening to you, you don't say, why me? And you're not depressed about it. Why me? Why is this good thing happening to me? You never say that. You need to accept that this world, there's good and there's evil. Evil will happen to you, good will happen to you. And I'm not saying just when something bad happens to you, you're just like you're a superhuman, be like, it's okay, bad things happen. No, I'm just saying you need to recognize, is it something you can control, or is it something that you can't control? If it is something that you can control, well and good. You're going to be able to make decisions to help you overcome that situation. But if it is something that you cannot control, you need to, yes, feel the negative emotions. You need to, yes, acknowledge that this thing is actually really happening to me. This is happening to me. But after doing that, do you wallow in your misery? Do you wallow in your misery? Do you neglect yourself because this thing has happened to you? You don't. You accept it, and the sooner you accept it, the better it is for you, because now you'll be able to move on and you're going to know how to maneuver around the pain that comes with it. The much you can do for yourself and your body and your mind and your soul is to accept it and try and find ways of which you can overcome that. There are going to be days where you feel like you can't do it anymore, but you just pick yourself up, because honestly there's no one who's going to come and pick you up. So yeah, that is also a very sensitive one that I had to accept this past year. The other one is that life has no manual at all. Life has no manual. So for a very long time I found myself trying to always get the next best thing. So for example, much as self-development, I want to watch the latest videos on procrastination, on being productive. I want to read books or articles on self-development, and then the more I delve into these videos, the more I want to watch these videos. And at some point it became confusing. So what do? This person or this podcaster says, these steps are very, very fundamental. This other one says these are fundamental, but there are more. There are tricks, there are tips. And then you just find yourself in an unending loop of consuming and consuming and consuming and consuming. And there is no value that is added to you. So you think you're getting value, but you're really not, because if you are getting value, 2 videos should be enough for you to try and help you make actionable steps that are going to solve the problem that you want to solve, right? But how is it that you will watch 20 videos of the same thing and still not see any difference in your life? That means that content is not helping you. That means that you're not actually benefiting from all these material you're consuming. They're supposed to help you actually make a difference in your life. So if they are not, then it means there's something you're doing wrong. So the problem is not in the content. The problem is not in the YouTubers or the podcasters or the writers or the authors. The problem is with you. You need to realize that you are trying to escape your problems. You're escaping changing your life because the idea is confronting. And I know this because this is the realization that I had. If these videos are not helping, then it means you have a greater problem within you and you need to seek the problem, even if it means trying to know what the problem is and getting a solution for it professionally. All you need is for you to actually sit with yourself and identify the root cause of your consuming. And once you identify it, it is easy for you to even get content that will actually help you grow. If you feel like you need extra professional help, you'd rather do that. You'd rather get a mentor. You'd rather talk to a friend. You'd rather, if you're a Christian, you go to church, you'd rather talk to a youth pastor. You'd rather even talk to a therapist. Okay, so that is also another hard one that I had to swallow. And then now for the things that I really need to change this year, one of them is setting concrete goals. I realized that I've always set like very, very big, very shallow goals. Just say, I want to save more money. What does saving more money mean? Does saving more money mean saving amount X every month or every week? Or if you're an entrepreneur, saving X amount daily? Don't just say, I want to save more money. What does that mean? If you want to mend your relationships, what does that actually mean? Your goal is be in good terms with so and so. How are you going to do that? Does it mean scheduling phone calls, scheduling meetings? You need to put actionable goals. Okay, and then the other thing is that you need to give yourself grace. So sometimes you might set goals and they look so far-fetched and you think you're not even going to make it. And sometimes that could be a reason why you're not even setting concrete goals, because you're just like, what if these things don't come to pass? What if I don't manage to achieve these goals? But you need to realize that you're human and things don't always go perfect, or things don't always turn out the way you want. So give yourself grace. As long as you have decided that these are the things that I'm going to do, just to do them. But if they don't work out the way they were supposed to work out, you get to the end of 2025 and some of the goals that you had put on there are nowhere even close to happening. Just evaluate, why did these goals not happen? Was it something that I did, or did I do everything right and it just didn't happen? And then in both cases, you give yourself grace. If you did everything right, don't wallow in the why me. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't it happen? It didn't, but it was not your fault because you did everything that you could. But if it was something that you did, then you could be like, okay, yeah, I messed up here, but give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. How could I do this? How could I not stay focused and make sure that I did this right so that I would be able to achieve this goal? No. In all circumstances, give yourself grace. And by this, I don't mean to be complacent. Don't fail to do the things you need to do well because you know that there's grace somewhere. You're going to give yourself grace. You know what I mean? So yeah, give yourself grace. And then the other thing is that find an accountability partner. Yeah. I cannot stress this enough, honestly. Personal example. Last year I was talking with a friend of mine and I decided to stop postponing on like my writing skills and everything. I've always given excuses like, I'm not creative enough these days. Oh, there's so much going on in my life right now. I don't have time to nurture my creativity or nurture my writing skills, But towards the end of 2024, me and a friend of mine decided we're going to be accountability partners in writing. So we decided we're going to read books on cultivating our writing culture, and we actually read 2 books. I am so excited because I know that this coming year, if we continue with the same culture, by the end of 2025, we are going to be somewhere as actual writers, not just writers for the sake of writers, So I am really excited about that. So get an accountability partner. And I also want to get an accountability partner in every other area of my life, because I know this is something I really struggle with. So even in terms of health, mental health, sometimes it can be hard to take care of your own mental health. And you just need someone who's going to actually ask you, how are you feeling and what is it that is taking a toll on you? Because sometimes it can be hard to sit with yourself and be in tune with your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts. So this year I'm taking a plunge into therapy. I never thought I would say this, but yes, because I need someone to keep me accountable of my mental health. Yeah. So even in every other aspect, even in like physical health, physical wellness, I also want to do something about that. So yeah, please get an accountability partner. I've proven that it helps, so I will try it in other areas. And then the other thing is to live life. Just live life, be present and be mindful. So you can learn to romanticize your life. It is enjoying the small things in the moment. It is your cup of tea or cup of coffee. It is being mindful in that moment, being present in that moment, enjoying the flavors of the tea, of the coffee, of the food that you're having. If you're with your family, it is enjoying that moment. That is romanticizing life. And romanticizing life doesn't mean, be blind to every wrong thing that is going on in your life or in the world. No, it only means you do not spend your energy in concentrating on those negative things. And if you can take a moment to appreciate a positive thing in your life, you just do it, because it makes your life way better. So being present and being mindful and romanticizing life prevents you from always being anxious about the future. And I want to be really intentional this year about these two. And I don't mean like be perfect, so you're romanticizing everything every time everywhere. Balance it out, okay? Balance it out. When you're having bad days, it's fine, have your bad day, but don't stay in those emotions for way too long. Find something that you love doing, even if it's hobbies. Like for me, I'm also very intentional about getting like actual hobbies that I like this year and cultivating them. I think I like swimming, so I want to actually be serious because I want to like dive in the waters in the deep end. I am tired of swimming and floating on the shallow end. So I need to be serious, and if that means like taking actual classes, I'm actually going to do it. So yeah, just I'm going to be more mindful, and I also urge you to do the same and be intentional, and let's see how this year goes. I just need to be the better version of myself every year or every day. If I can do that by the end of the year and still nothing major will have happened to me, I'm still going to be grateful, and I'm really hoping that that happens for me, and I hope that it happens for you also. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have resonated with anything that I've said, please leave a comment. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. So yeah, see you on the next one, guys. Bye.